Good morning. I'm Miss Annette. I'm one of the TOTS teachers, and I'm going to be sharing with you this morning a story from the Old Testament about Elijah the prophet. Now, the version of the story I'm going to be using this morning is written in the Children's New International Reader's Version. It's published by Zonderkids, and the story, if you have the book at home, the Bible at home, is actually written on pages 487 and 488. It's a great Bible for anybody from, say, end of second grade on up. So, let me give you first a little bit of background about our story. Our story today comes from the Old Testament, which is the part of the Bible that tells about God from the time of creation until about 800 years before Jesus was born. And the person we will learn about today is the prophet Elijah. Now, Elijah's name means the Lord is my God, and he lived about 900 years before Jesus was born. In other words, almost 3,000 years ago. A very long time ago indeed. Now, a prophet is a person sent by God to tell someone else, often an entire nation, the message that God has for them. In this case, God told the prophet Elijah to show the people of Israel that he, the Lord God, was the true God, and that Baal, the god of their Canaanite neighbors, was not. Elijah's message made Ahab, the wicked Baal-worshipping king of Israel, and his equally wicked wife Jezebel, the queen, so angry that they were determined to kill Elijah. Our story begins with Elijah running away from Ahab and Jezebel and hiding in a cave. So my first picture here, and all of the pictures today, will not be pictures from the Bible. They are pictures from a website called www.biblecartoons.co.uk, and they are created by an artist named Martin Young. So here's our first picture. We see Elijah right here, and he's running across the desert to escape Ahab and Jezebel. And as we just read in the Bible, he comes to a cave in order to be safe. So you see him here entering the cave. A message came to Elijah from the Lord. He said, "Elijah, what are you doing here?" He replied, "Lord God, who rules over all, I've been very committed to you. The people of Israel have turned their backs on your covenant. They have torn down your altars. They've put your prophets to death with their swords. I'm the only one left, and they're trying to kill me." The Lord said, "Go out, stand on the mountain in front of me. I am going to pass by." As the Lord approached, a very powerful wind tore the mountains apart. It broke up the rocks, but the Lord wasn't in the wind. So here we have Elijah at the mouth of the cave, and you can see just how powerful the wind is, because it is indeed and in fact tearing apart the rocks right in front of him. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord wasn't in the earthquake. Now the rocks are raining down outside the cave, and there's Elijah trembling as the ground shakes and the earth quakes. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord wasn't in the fire. Poor Elijah, here he is, and he beholds this incredible fire. There's been a highly destructive wind, an earthquake, and now a fire. But the Lord isn't in any of these. And after the fire, there was only a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, He pulled his coat over his face. He went out and stood at the entrance to the cave. So here we have Elijah, and he's listening to the still, small voice. See, it's just a gentle voice represented by that feather floating on the breeze. Then a voice said to him, "Elijah, what are you doing here?" He replied, "Lord God, who rules over all, I've been very committed to you. The people of Israel have turned their backs on your covenant. They have torn down your altars. They've put your prophets to death with the sword. And I'm the only one left, and they're trying to kill me." Then the Lord said to him, "Go back the way you came. Go to the desert of Damascus. When you get there, anoint Hazael as king over Aram. Also anoint Jehu as king over Israel. He is the son of Nimshi. And anoint Elisha from Abel-Meholah as the next prophet after you. He is the son of Shaphat. Jehu will put to death anyone who escapes Hazael's sword, and Elisha will put to death anyone who escapes Jehu's sword. But I will keep 7,000 people in Israel for myself. They have not bowed down to Baal, and they have not kissed him." And that ends our story for today. God is not always in the places we most expect him. We sometimes expect God to be obvious and loud and powerful. He's always powerful, but we have to pay attention to him. And he is always with us, and he will always protect us. Thank you.